Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Welcome back to another episode of the Peak Performers Podcast. I'm your host, Thor Conklin. Today we have Adam Sand, the odd combination of tech nerd and high-performance salesman. He believes that organizational discipline combined with entrepreneurial spirit is the alchemy of great performance. Adam is the owner of Roofing Business Partner. Everything was born as a next logical step from the first one or the one before. He helped his best friend, an experienced roofer, start Sargent's Roofing. Sargent's Roofing became wildly successful once they learned to use Facebook ads successfully to turn lead gen on autopilot. The rest is history. Adam, man, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Thor, thank you so much. It's awesome to be here. I love the podcast, so I'm excited to be able to be a guest.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, so a buddy comes to you and says, hey, Adam, I need some help. I know how to roof, but I'm not in business. Help me start this business.
Yeah, that's more or less how it went. I mean, I guess there was a bit of it was me pushing him and saying, hey, you should be, you should not be subcontracting to other companies and helping them build their brand. You should build your own. And he felt intimidated by the idea. I saw what his previous bosses sold their roofing company for to his now new boss. And I thought, I like that exit strategy. I like the idea of what you can sell a construction company for. So I said, let's do it together. And he trusted me, even though he had a second baby just about 3 months away. And yeah, we kind of get off to the races. And I became a roofing company owner with zero experience in roofing, which turned out to be a blessing and a curse, like almost everything is in life.
Yeah, it's really interesting because clients, or actually before clients become clients, sometimes they'll ask, hey, do you have any clients in this space? No. Well, then why should we work with you? Because I work with all these other industries, and chances are something that's working in that industry is going to work in your industry, and you surround yourself with your industry and everyone thinks the same. You want to stand out from that competition. And that's what Facebook allowed you to do. It sounded like you were kind of the tech nerd that came in and said, okay, look, you do the roofing, you put the nails in, I'm going to find the people to roof.
Yeah, it became very, like I say, organizational discipline combined with the entrepreneurial spirit is the alchemy of great performance. I didn't create that line. That's From Good to Great, of a book that is essentially my handbook for everything that is CEO type stuff, running a company and managing an organization. And the first thing was get the right people on the bus, get the right people in the right seats, and then get the bus going in the right direction. So he's good with people. He's actually very friendly, very personable. He shines brightly. He's the extrovert. And so he was great at talking to customers. He was good to be doing estimates and getting in front of people. He's a good leader of crews. He's walked the walk. He can kind of do all that. And then he understood the business. He understood where you had to order things from and what materials to go buy and just, all that kind of stuff. And then I understood how to start creating systems and processes that would allow that to scale. I knew how to do, obviously, all the taxes and accounting and payroll and stuff like that. And then I had a background in securing customers. So, the marketing and sales was something that I lent myself to well. And from there, we just had these assigned roles. And plus, I had a pretty good career. So I was able to invest some money and actually help the company grow in its first 2 years before I was able to quit my job and come on to, to join our company full time.
And no exit yet?
No exit yet. No, we still, still growing it because I want to exit for a lot.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So, you were telling before we went on air here is that, you came up with this great idea that maybe Facebook might be a great place to get leads from. And this is back in 2013, 2014?
2014. It was when I got the idea, and I spent 8 months trying to find, through the course of 2 seasons, because being in Canada, it's seasonal weather. So the end of one season, the beginning of another, I spent 8 months trying to find someone to run Facebook ads for us. We had hired the Google Ads agency, and they were doing the Google AdWords and making it so that when people Googled roofers in my city, we showed up once in a while. And I said, hey, can you do Facebook ads? It says on your website you do Facebook ads. I'm like, that's stupid. You don't do Facebook ads for construction. Like, you don't have a buy now button. There's no lead magnet. You can't offer free tooth whitening in exchange for, becoming a full-time dental client, right? So yeah, Facebook ads is dumb. And I said, okay, so you're fired. And I went to hire another one, right? And so I hired this other agency who said they would. I was like, hey, when are we going to do the Facebook ads? I was like, no, that's silly. Now, you see how good we're doing at the Google? You don't need to do Facebook ads. And I was like, okay. And so then I went searching for agencies who specifically did Facebook ads. Couldn't find anybody who, kind of said, we're the construction agency. Nobody said that. So then I asked other people, I was like, well, do you know how? And they're like, no, that's not really my niche. And I'm like, okay, great. So then I went to some fun looking at the gurus, like the Billy Jeans of the world, and was like, hey, you know how to market a construction company with Facebook? And they're like, you don't use Facebook ads for construction, right? You need a lead magnet and an email list. I'm like, yeah, but there's a lot of people on Facebook, and they're all on Facebook. It's like them being on a highway. You put a billboard there, right? And they, they just thought it was silly. So I was like, I got in an argument with a guy online. He had his chat where he had the cart closing for our Facebook ads program, and in 24 hours the cart closes, and join us on our chat to ask questions. And I started asking questions, and he said he didn't really know anything about marketing, my kind of industry. And I got angry, and I was like, oh, you online marketers are all just a bunch of scam artists. You don't know how to run a business. You're just I got frustrated. And he said, listen, I get it. Okay. But if you're, I can teach you how Facebook ads work, and everything in Facebook ads is testing. That's the benefit. The targeting, the metrics, the statistics, the reporting that comes back to you, that's the power of Facebook ads. I'll teach you that, and then you can test your own hypothesis. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll join your course. So I took it, and we, spent a lot of money going in every wrong direction. And then all of a sudden it clicked to me what the fundamental similarity was between how a personal trainer sells, diet plans and, online training, to why dentists do well, to why chiropractors do well. And then when I understood the fundamental similarity between all of them, then I knew what to do. So we executed on that, and it became this hit. And, I would share in little private members Facebook group our successes. And the guy who ran the course was like, that's awesome. We should interview about the results, because that's crazy. And at the time, there was nobody else that kind of did that. And so then all of a sudden I got all these requests, and roofers were like, hey man, can you help me do that? And it was so flattering at first. And then eventually I got so many people asking, I was like, hey, well, maybe I should start a business so that I can actually weed out the wheat from the chaff on this and kind of get some people to pay me. And so then I did. And I was like, I should probably come up with a name for this. About a year later, I was like, well, I'm kind of like every roofing business's partner, so I'll just be their roofing business partner. And that was as much thought of it as went into it.
That's awesome. Is that the URL as well?
Yes, roofingbusinesspartner.com.
Love it. So what was that moment, or what did you discover at that point where it all kind of came together? You're like, oh, this is how dentists are doing. This is how the other industries are doing it. What was it?
So essentially, everybody knows what they want to buy or what they need to buy. They already know that. The challenge is trying to know who to buy it from, right? And so in an information, in a world so focused on information, the challenge is getting the right information that empowers you to make a decision. And that's what I understood, is that there's an abundance of personal trainers. They're everywhere. You can't open Facebook without seeing some personal trainer or some weight loss thing or something on TV. They're everywhere. So it's not whether I want to lose weight or whether I need to lose weight. It's who's going to give me the right program that's going to help me win. I want to be empowered to know that the decision I'm making is taking me on the right path. Same thing with dentists. You drive around the street, dentists everywhere. You look at your teeth in the mirror, you go, ugh, and you want to do something about it. All of a sudden you get a free tooth whitening thing. As marketers, we think it's because they got a free tooth whitening that suddenly they did that. It was something along the way that made them feel empowered to know that this was the right dentist. And that's what they usually get in the dental office, right? So the whole idea is to get them to the point that at the end of the day, free tooth whitening does not make someone a lifetime dental client, right? It's getting them a piece of the intended result, which is I like my teeth. That's the intended end result. And along the way, the dentist makes you feel that you've made the right choice. And so we altered our content marketing to essentially help people feel empowered to make a decision about hiring a roofing contractor, because Unlike everything that everybody's selling, roofing is the least sexy thing on the planet, other than maybe insurance. Like if you have $8,000, you do not choose to buy a roof because you don't like the color. You do it when it's old and needs to be done, or it's leaking and causing a problem. Otherwise, there's motorcycles and vacations and braces and educations and books and everything else you want to spend your money on. And so for us, I started to go on the estimates with Joe and listen to all the questions that people asked. And they were the same, and I didn't know the answers to some of these questions. If we would go at an estimate and Joe would be like, it's great that we're doing this on video because I can actually demonstrate this for once. But people go, oh, what's drip edge, right? Like that's a piece that we have to put on a roof, right? And many of your listeners might not know what drip edge is. And so Joe will go, well, so you have the end of the roof and the water goes in the gutter. And so you have this metal trim piece that goes in, and then there's your gutter. And that's literally what the experience would be like in person, right? And I looked at it and I was like, Joe, why do we need drip edge? And he would take the time to explain it to me. I thought, we should make something better for that. So I went out and hired somebody to do infographics, right? And then we started to do video content on the roof as they started to bring out Facebook Live video, because over time, after I became more experienced, I learned that anytime Facebook comes out with a new feature, be all over it, because Facebook's going to give you a higher propensity to show up just because they're trying to test out that new feature and get some initial results and find out how people are going to game the system and all that kind of stuff. So they kind of give a bit of a higher weight to that stuff. So we were always very adaptive to the new features, but the main component is we wanted to put the information out there that allowed homeowners to feel like they understood roofing enough to both make the decision, but then also to value us, right? The number one complaint all contractors have, whether it's roofing or decks or fences or garages or basements or whatever, is that people don't value their time. They think, you do a free estimate, and then people are always like, oh, this guy said he'd do it cheaper. The only reason they're going with cheaper is because they don't know how to make a good decision, so they figure cheaper is better, right? And so by giving people that educational aspect to our content online, by teaching them about roofing, they were more inclined to go with us. And then it really hit when we started to educate them on the value of a component beyond just the price of the piece itself and what it meant to them as a homeowner and to their house and to the longevity of their home. Then when we started to give away that component for free, it was better than any other discount we could offer. We could offer 25% off, which would be like a $2,500 value, and homeowners would be like, you're just adding 25% and giving it away.
Yeah.
But you could give people a $300 worth of vents for free, retargeting them after you did a 4-minute video about how vents can save you thousands of dollars in your air conditioning over the term of your, like the lifetime of your roof, make your humidity reduce in your attic, which is going to make your insulation last longer, and blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, people would line up for a $300 deal, but wouldn't even trust you at a $2,500 deal. And so profitability goes up, customer satisfaction goes up, people make decisions faster, the buyer's journey gets shorter, and the Google reviews turn into stories rather than just 5 stars, happy with my roof. It's like, they're like novels, you know what I mean? Where people are like, my roofers in the local market, they go, oh, I don't even like dealing with your fan club. You know what I mean? They call they call them our fan club because we've created that. And it's ultimately because we understood the fundamental similarity between everything that people buy is that they need to feel empowered to make the purchase and know that they're making the right choice before they're going to ever spend more money on this instead of that. It's not just customer service. Customer service is the bare minimum to entry. It's about making them feel empowered to understand why they're spending more, not just being obligated to because you are nice.
Yeah. It's so interesting what you were saying. That you went out there to find out what the customers were saying. I have a client that's a CPA, and we need to the number of leads coming in needs to be amped up significantly. So we have a bunch of different strategies. And I said, why do your customers come to you in the first place? And that was kind of the answer. There was just kind of like dead air. I said, first of all, they had to leave a CPA to then come to you. So something happened with the old CPA. What's driving them from the old one? Mm-hmm. And again, there was that dead air. And so I said, you don't know why they're leaving them. You don't know why they're coming to you. How are we going to speak to your ideal client? We have no idea what drives them. And
I love you said ideal client. That's perfect because it's the ideal client.
The ideal client, exactly. And so literally what we did is we had one of the folks in the office call all the current clients and ask them those questions. And they're actually, as we're taping this, they're in the process of that. And so when we're done with this, you're going to start to see some similarities. And then once you understand those similarities, if people are, one of the things that's coming out is the old CPA wouldn't return their phone call, return their phone calls. So I'm like, when we start doing more marketing on this, do you think we're going to emphasize, is your CPA calling you back? Feel like you're not being taken care of? Of course we are, because those are the people that are moving and those are the people that are coming. So absolutely love that. Question for you. The new features, when Instagram or Facebook or name a platform, when they come out with a new feature, how do we get notified of these new features?
Well, I mean, if you subscribe to a number of the different blogs, they're always going to be trying to get that content piece, right? So I find it almost impossible to ignore. And then quite often the whole internet, the whole marketing community freaks out, right? And goes, oh my God, they're changing the targeting thing. Oh my God, they're changing the pixel. Oh my God, they're dropping homeowners from targeting. Oh my God, they're stopping your ability to see reach on this and that. And it's like they all freak out. And then every blogger is gonna be like, wow, you don't need to freak out about the new Facebook pixel, right? So it's pretty impossible to ignore. But then also, if you go to business.facebook.com in your business manager account or any one of these platforms, they usually have their own they have their own like bulletin board, or for lack of a better word, they have their own section. I don't even know the button anymore. I just click on it periodically. I don't even know what it says. I just go in there and click on it, and it always has the updates, right? So
yeah, for the business owners out there that are stuck in their business, they're not subscribing to a lot of these blogs. What's one blog that if I wanted to belong and subscribe to one blog to keep up on the tech side, what would it be?
Well, I would say Marketing School with Neil Patel and Eric Sue. That's a really good one. Or if Facebook ads specifically, Rick Mulready's Art of Paid Traffic. That has a lot of regular updates on like whenever there's a new feature coming out. He kind of cuts through the crap and shows you what really matters. Last big one was when they ended the relevance score and they divided it up into 3 different scores, right? That was one that everybody freaked out. And of course, every blogger kind of had a thing, but I found that his explanation was one of the best.
Got it. So now you've cracked the code. You're doing this in the roofing industry. What stops you from going in and creating painters? So what is it? Painter business partners.
Painter's business partner. Well, I mean, really, first of all, we talk about ideal customer avatar. So there's 88,000 roofing companies in the United States. 80,000 of them are considered to be like 10 people or less, right? There's literally no shortage of highline clients that are $10,000 a month plus marketing agency clients that are just like, hey, we just want Facebook ads. You seem to be the guy, go do it. And they don't even bug you. You don't even talk to them. They're just like, yeah, just keep doing the thing. We're getting lots. And they're the best clients and the worst because you never get to get any feedback or any creativity. They just have more money than brains, right? And then there's the medium-sized companies, and they're the ones that are like the $2,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 a month clients. And they're like pretty on you, right? Because that money matters to them. Right. And so so there's lots of those companies. And then there's literally thousands and thousands of roofing companies that are more ideal as like students or like people who like pay for small engagement type stuff. So, I mean, I guess it's simply a matter of the fact that my ideal customer avatar is one that I can't be bullshitted. Pardon me. They can't fool me and I can't fool them.
Got
right.
it.
So we can speak on even terms. They can tell me, oh, couldn't do the video today because the big thing is content, right? Oh, I couldn't do the video today because of this. And I'm like, bud, it takes 4 minutes. Even if you suck at it, you got to do it 3 times. It's 4 minutes to try. It's 12. If it takes you 5 minutes to psych yourself up in between each one, that's 15. That's 29 minutes. Like 29 minutes in a day to make you an extra $1 million this year in revenue. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Take the time to do it. So, you know what I mean? And I can tell them what kind of videos they should do based on their market, what kind of weather they have, what their ideal customer avatar is. I mean, I'm even selective to the point where I don't deal with roofing companies that focus on commercial. I don't deal with roofing companies that focus on insurance. I don't deal with roofing companies that focus on chasing builders and new construction. I am the best marketing guy on the face of the earth for roofers who do not subcontract, who hire and pay hourly and do between $2 and $10 million a year, who only do residential roof replacements.
Dude, I'm going to get more specific, all right? You really got to get a niche before you're going to be successful here.
Like, that's the whole idea is I I learned very, very early on in this whole marketing thing when I was doing the Facebook ads, which was that you need to have your ideal customer avatar. And I sat back and I said, okay, well, who can we be the best in the world for, right? And that's something in the same thing in the book, Good to Great. It's like, focus on the hedgehog concept. Be who you can be the best in the world at. And I was like, okay, well, we can be the best in the world at residential roof replacements. And so everything about our website, the fact that there's a video at the top instead of our phone number, the fact that it guarantees a 2-hour response time, everything about our CRM, the automatic emails that go out, the automatic text messages that go out, everything is designed. If you call me if you don't even have an email, we won't take you on as a client in my roofing company. Because like, listen, you're going to get 3 custom emails, 2 text messages. Like, you got to have an email. If you think I'm going to spam you forever, I'm a roofing company. I'm not going to bother you. Once I sell you a roof, I'm not going to talk to you for 35 years. I'm not going to spam you. So giving me your email is a zero risk game. Ah, I thought that was muted. Sorry.
Your customer calling in.
And I said, listen, I'm not going to be bugging you, right? I'm not going to be calling you. And so if you won't give me your email, I'm not going to take you on as a client. That seems so counterintuitive, but the fact is, I don't want to take anybody on that I'm going to fail at, right? If I'm going to fail, then I might as well not take you on as a client. So when it went to Roofing Business Partner, it was just a very good fun. It was just a core belief, like a sound principle that never failed me before, which is that understand who you're best in the world for. I don't have any experience in painting. I don't have any experience in the insurance game. I don't have any experience in the commercial roofing game, but I know how to make a ton of money and make a ton of customers extremely happy and build a fan club in a local marketplace with a roofing company who hires and pays hourly people, doesn't subcontract, and wants to focus on residential roof replacement and turn over cash every day. Some guys love getting big $1 million jobs, only have to deal with one customer. You're on the same site for 3 months and then they get paid 90 days later. Me, the thought of waiting 90 days to get paid and lending money to a billionaire to roof his building, that like I don't even want the business. I'd rather not. But if I want to deal with Bob and Betty, 30 to 55-year-old homeowners who have 2 kids or teenagers who are in either government workers, professionals, or entrepreneurs, those are the kind of people we want to do houses for. I don't want people who are buying. I don't want people who are selling. I don't want people who are 90. I don't want people who are 20. Like we have a very ideal customer avatar. And then when you do it that way, everything about your business is about making sure that you're the best, most obvious, natural choice for that particular person. Then it gets so easy, it's like cheating.
Yeah. That's excellent. What do you tell the client out there, or not client, but the business owner out there that they're starting to get their ideal client, but they still haven't found it yet because they might be early in the business? Obviously, you didn't come to that conclusion day one. How long did it take you to find Betty and Bob?
Well, in the roofing company, when it come to finding Betty and Bob,
by the way?
Yeah, that's the name that we give them, Bob and Betty. You
know what's so funny? I just thought that's the name of my grandparents.
Really?
Bob and Betty, yeah.
Well, that's perfect.
They passed, but
I don't know where the name came from. It was just like it was just because it was all about Jocko's book that he came out with, Extreme Ownership. He talks about keeping things simple and concise so that everybody in the company can understand the mission. And it's just so much easier when I can say, yeah, we could put good roofs on good people's homes. We just want to be the right roofing company for Bob and Betty. And then all of a sudden I can take a 19-year-old kid who's a roofer and he can understand basically the entire fundamental of what we're pursuing in this business. So I would say that it probably took us a good year to find out who that ideal customer avatar was, because we would try all these different things and we'd look back and we'd say, okay, let's look back at the numbers. Let's see where we perform the best. We didn't do well when people were selling their house because they just wanted to get in and out. Yeah. And what we're paying guys hourly to be the best, we aren't necessarily built to compete with the guy who can the sales and subcontractor model, where a salesman shows up and says, so what's the deal? You're selling your house? Okay, so this is going to be all about price. No problem. Blow it out. Now, let's get Chuck and Bob, the crackheads, in here to roof it. They'll do it for cheap. They'll do everything wrong, but who cares? Because the person who's paying for it, they're going to be gone in 2 months when the house sells, right? So I was like, we weren't really competitive there. And then the older folks, nothing against them, but when you're 62 and you come in and say, yeah, we're going to build you the best roof. You get a 35-year warranty with this. It's going to last even longer. Then you get 20 years, no inflation. They go, we're going to be dead by the time that. Well, then all of a sudden your value proposition isn't quite in line with their values, right? And then we were trying to, we would get so excited because an apartment building called us and be like, 500 bundles, that'll keep us busy for a week and a half. And then I realized that even our roofers, because it's not just about your marketing, your sales, and your dollars, Our roofers, there's even differences in your employees. And so you got to learn who your employees are and what kind of jobs they like doing. And I always talk, we're called sergeants roofing, so I always use like a military analogy. Some soldiers are built to get on the front lines, and they're the battle of attrition. They're in the trenches and they fight, and they just got to move it forward a foot a day, and they're happy with that. And they're just working their way to the Maginot Line. And then other guys like Navy SEALs, they want to come in, break in, do a regime change, hop out, and leave, and like they were never there. That's my guys. My guys like to get up on a roof, do the roof, look up, see what they've accomplished that day, and then leave. And so when you put them on an apartment building for 5 days straight, they're just like, you can see that they're just physiologically drained. They just feel like they're never winning. Every day they go home and like, oh, there's still so much left. Oh, there's still so much left. Oh, we're almost done. Oh, we're not done yet. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're going through mentally. And so everything about our company, I realized, and that was a cultural thing. That came down from Joe because that was where he came from. He came from a roof a day company. And so everybody that he hired, everybody that he aligned with, all had those same values. And so when you understand what your sales and marketing is set up for, and then what your unique value proposition seems to align with from a customer perspective, and then when you understand how your people like to execute, then all of a sudden it becomes ultra clear who your ideal customer avatar is, and it's going to be very culturally related to the leadership.
All right, so we're hearing what worked. There's got to be some things in there that you just royally screwed up.
Oh yeah. Right. Every time we don't follow the process, we get ourselves in trouble. So we've had to continuously and constantly grow the process, because the problem is that if you're in a business where if you look at roofing and you ask a roofer about that, right, about the job, they will think it's very random. They won't have a process to it. And so we have to systemize it. And then we've also had to systemize the customer interaction, because there's a lot of steps in every business from delivering on that customer buyer's journey. And we've had to continuously grow our understanding of our buyer's journey. And it really wasn't until about 3-4 years that we really had a strong understanding of the buyer's journey. And we're able to start putting in systems in place for it. And when I say that, I mean, customers will come out of the woodwork 4 months later. Every year, as soon as school gets out, all the homeowners go, okay, we got to get the roof done. We got to get vacation. We got to, like, they go, all of a sudden everything starts happening. And so people you estimated in April, all of a sudden in July start confirming. And if they don't, say, for example, know what color was on the shingle, right? And they say, yeah, we're good to go with the roof now. And they only were thinking the price, right? And you don't have a process for confirming the color. And then they're like, yeah, come on Saturday because we don't want to be here. We're going to go away for the weekend. And then they come home and the roof's black instead of brown. And they freak out. It's all because you didn't have a process for confirming the color, right? And so you look at it and say, you quoted shadow black and said that the existing color was brown. And they go and say, well, you said the existing color was brown. And you said, yeah, but you wanted a house like ones in the neighborhood, and all the ones in the neighborhood are black. And they go, yeah, but we said that, yeah, but it says the original color was that. And I say, well, yeah, it's like going into the car dealership and saying your car's blue, and the fact that you ordered a black one means that they should not order the black one and get the blue one. And they go, so going around and around, but then we had to make her happy. That cost us 10 grand, right? So mistakes in this industry cost a ton. And so by trying to systemize and automate and create all these things in our business, we had a lot of things fall off the rails along the way. And we've had to make improvements every day. But now what I've learned through Roofing Business Partner is that happens anytime a business gets big, is that you find that a lot of what kept you busy at 2 million falls apart at 5. Yeah. Because you're putting stuff together with duct tape over the course of years, and you're not beginning with the end in mind. Just like any good marketing campaign, you got to begin with the end in the mind. Saying, I need my ideal customer avatar. What makes my ideal customer avatar say yes at the end? So what information do they need to understand or be delivered in the middle? Well, the same thing goes with the buyer's journey from sale to ultimately procuring and finishing the job, was understanding what needs to happen. They need to confirm the color. They need to know the process. They need to have a good understanding of what's going to happen every time or every step of the way, so they feel comfortable with all this action that's going on for this thing that they're going to have on the roof for the next 30 years. So when all of a sudden Roofing Business Partners started succeeding with my clients on the marketing end, they'd go, whoa, we need to fire you now because we don't need to pay you all this money every month. We're busy. We're booked up 4 months and we're not getting back to people and all these things are going wrong. And I'd be like, I've been there. Okay, so what's going wrong? Well, we had this wrong. We loaded the wrong color and we had this, and then this girl quit and she had all these Post-it notes, and then people aren't communicating properly, and all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, you don't have to fire me, but we can kind of move my marketing budget into something else. And so then I started developing CRMs and going to roofing companies and helping them with their CRM and their sales process and saying, okay, installers, this is where you look for the job file notes. And okay, estimators, this is where you put the job file notes. And okay, sales manager, before you hand it off to production, there needs to be a turnover meeting where every single file goes, you kind of go over it, make sure that it's tight so that by the time it goes to production, sales doesn't have to think about it anymore because they can just keep going out there to kill. And then the production guy's got to deliver and turn it into supper. And they can't be stopping in the middle to figure out what the recipe is. They have to just know what they're supposed to make, right? And so we started moving it into that. And this is all process of everything I screwed up years before a lot of these services and a lot of these apps were so fluid. I was doing it when they were all, kind of in their birth. And now they're starting to really come, they're all integrating with Zapier and doing all these things automatic, and they have mobile apps that are really awesome. And, it's like I start to feel like the old man that was walking to school in paper shoes, but we're able to help these guys.
So you're doing consulting for them as well?
Well, I just kind of solve problems. I mean, I hate the name consultant. It sounds so like meh, but I mean, I just kind of, roofers ask questions, I got answers, and then I just say, okay, this is what the opportunity cost of continuing to do it that way is. This is what it would take to continue doing it. This is what it's going to take to make it that way. This is kind of what I need for money to not do it for someone else because they're asking too. So if you kind of want me to do it for you and me to fly out there and teach your people, I can only be in one place at a time. This is kind of what I need to make because you're taking time away from my company as well as you're taking time away from another customer. So that's what you need to pay me. And if that's consulting, then yeah, I guess I'm a consultant.
I see masterminds in your future, man.
Masterminds.
Yeah, bringing in a group of roofers for a 3-day conference where you just unload all the things that you've learned over the years.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I should do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
But just an idea.
No, it sounds like a good idea. It sounds like an evolution of things.
Yeah, bring them in, $5,000 a seat. Bring in a whole bunch of roofers and teach them everything you know. Somebody have their handheld going forward. Set up a $60,000 a year consulting gig where they can call you, ask questions.
Yeah, my thing was I wanted to do equity partnerships. I was like, well, because one thing that sucks is you go in and you charge them that $60,000 thing, and then you see a $8 million company turn into a $10 million company. I was like, geez, 10% of that's $200,000.
Yeah, I have a client that does a lot of that.
And that's something I've explored.
That don't have the money to do. He's an attorney, doesn't have a lot of money for legal work, and he goes, look, if you want to give me a piece of the action, I'll do it for free.
I should talk to that guy because he probably knows how to structure that.
Yeah, he's made a boatload of money doing that. And again, in those situations, the reason he's made money is because he's helped them make money. So it's a win-win for both.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. Is that my time, my energy, my effort, is all commensurate with the amount of gain I stand to have, right? So, if I stand to gain 10% of the lift in the company, well then, I mean, I can do that. I can supercharge the piss out of a roofing company that's in my ideal customer avatar, and there's a ton of those. So for me, I kind of thought, well, I should probably take this roofing business partner thing to another level. Instead of just doing this problem solving kind of thing, I should just maybe trying to do this equity partnership thing because my business partner in Edmonton here is sure happy to have me around.
Yeah. Build a whole platform out for him. A turnkey system to run roofing companies. What's the city to you, the largest city?
So we service Edmonton, Alberta. So that's the capital city of Alberta. So that's like Canada's Texas. Right?
Yeah.
That's our oil place, right?
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. Well, man, we could go on and on. I love this. We come up with a gazillion ideas, but I love the space that you're in. You understand the space. And most specifically, what I loved your answer was, even though you figured out how to do it for roofers, when I mentioned painters, you're like, look, I don't need painters. There are so many roofers out there. All I need to do is just keep going deeper, deeper, deeper. So,
yeah, I'd rather help the painter business partner be better at being the painter business partner. I'd rather talk to that guy and just be like, hey, and stuff. Yeah, like if there's a painter guy who's like, hey, I want to be the painter's business partner. I'd be like, hey, well, I can show you what I've learned along the way being the roofer's business partner. And this is the stuff you got to make sure you know, because these are some tools and stuff that are going to be handy along the way. But yeah, I mean, it's fantastic to be on the show, man, and I really appreciate the opportunity. And I mean, you're putting out good value for everyone. So I hope that this is kind of one little piece of the puzzle that maybe someone can take something from.
Oh, this is great, man. First of all, I got 2 new blogs to subscribe to, and Jacko's new book. I haven't read that one yet. So, man, I got value. So I really appreciate. And, it was a good reminder also, and you said it, and it triggered something in me in a good way. And all business owners need to understand this. What got you here may not get you there.
Mm-hmm.
Worked up until this point, especially when you're small, you're under 2 million, 5 million. You can kind of wing some things. But if you're going to scale your business above 2, 3, 5, depending on what industry you're in, you've got to have those ironclad systems where it just operates. And it's not that you know how to do it, but your entire team knows how to do it. And if you're not there for a month, the business continues to operate. And that's the biggest thing that I see with our clients. Clients come to us because they think they're business owners, but the business owns them. And to me, that's not a way to own a business. So well done, man. Really appreciate having you on the show. Much success to you in the future. And my little value bomb for you is mastermind, buddy. Man, you can pack those rooms out. Give them every single thing you've ever learned in the business. Value. And at the end of that, somebody wants to work with you one-on-one, $60,000, $75,000 a year for them to do that. I think that's the next step for you.
Thanks so much, man. I really hope so. And I think I'm going to definitely look into that because it seems like a great idea.
Absolutely. Have a great day, man.
You too.